There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. Maya Angelou.
For over 20 years now, I have had the pleasure of working as a personal trainer. In that time, I have experienced a vast spectrum of human nature in all its imperfections. I have learned, taught, laughed, cried, been angered, and felt sorrow. The one feeling I do not have is regret, for each interaction is a story unto itself, and like any good story, they should be told. Advancement is my calling. As a personal trainer, my image is that of improvement. Whenever I am called on for a consultation, the potential client is seeking a better life. It's taught to our staff that no client comes to us for a purely physical reason. Somewhere, concerns of the mind drive them to pick up the phone and seek to make a change. The explanation of this phenomenon can be surmised in a simple example. The most common injury we see is rotator cuff damage. With the introduction of plastic bags to the grocery business came a leap in cases of this particular affliction. The ability to utilize the convenient loop at the top of these bags to carry way too many and then lift them up and away from the body, usually to set on a counter or place in a trunk, puts the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis in an uncompromising position, usually resulting in a pull or tear. Since we all do this, there are hundreds, nay thousands of individuals in our immediate vicinity with some mild form of this affliction. And still it starts to inhibit their activities to the point of making the person feel less about themselves. They see no need to seek help. Though this is only one example, all other fitness goals, weight loss, energy boost, strength gains, and the like, all follow the same physical limitation to mental impairment template as with rotator cuff damage. It's simple. You're not calling us until it bothers your mind. In answering that need as a personal trainer, the physical is quite easy. The mental, and therefore true success, is quite challenging, and not only requires the knowledge to heal the physical, but the intuition to understand the subconscious mental. Subconscious, because after 29 years of personal training, I have come to learn that every client's real need is to find that lifestyle that makes them feel great about being themselves. Only on extremely rare occasions does a client really know what that lifestyle actually is. And what we know is only how to put them on the path to find it. That lifestyle is what we call a person's level of wellness. Since everyone comes to us to find a change, it is in our very nature as personal trainers to expect the level of wellness to come out of some sort of improvement, typically physical improvement. Not until 2008 did I learn that a level of wellness could come to pass by staying put. Kate came to me in the very familiar way. A referral from Edmond, she and her husband contacted me about joining together. At the spry age of 67 and 72, Kate and Henry were newlyweds. This was due to a faith-based singles get-together arranged by the two of them at their respective places of worship, which happened to be in two different cities. They saw a need in their congregation to have some of the widowers and divorcees provided a chance to mingle with others of the same faith and predicament. A few evening socials later, the two became more than friends and fell in love. They were soon married and began a long life together. Having met its need, the faith-based singles club disbanded. Kate and I actually knew of each other. Being the mother of a classmate to my twin sister, Kate and I had a few readily available topics of conversation, which made the rather large task at hand seem easier. Kate had a few advanced physical considerations that were her physical reason to contact me. With a degenerative low back problem that required physical therapy and a rotator cuff injury that would soon require a surgeon, Kate and I had our work cut out for us. I began her program only after meeting with her physical therapist, which I would do with many of her health professionals over the years, and put together a slow but ever-changing program that could address her specific needs to get her physical correct. This early, neither of us had a clue where her true level of wellness lay. The degenerative disc affected the nerves in her low back and caused some communication interruptions with multiple muscle movements. She could easily fire most every muscle below her waist when an exercise required single muscle engagement, like a side leg lift. But with more complex moves, such as walking, which involves not only the quadriceps but calves, hamstrings, entire hip girdle, and the gluteals, some communication was interrupted and therefore caused a funny gait known as Trendelenburg. This proved to be quite challenging since hers was not caused by weakness as much as an interruption in communication through the nervous system. Simply put, the muscles are ready to move at a moment's notice. The notice just never arrives, so the muscles don't fire. Her shoulder caused us some fits due to the existence of rotator cuff damage, but we were able to get her shoulder stronger and alleviate the pain associated with the damaged muscle. As with all our clients, we also set about increasing her strength and fitness overall. In this, she excelled. Star pupils, Kate and Henry, never missed a session while they were in town. Even when they traveled, we were given plenty of notice and they were sent with travel exercise regimens to fit their needs and would return with details concerning how many exercise bouts they had completed and difficulties, if any. Kate and I worked hard to try to diminish the effects due to the lack of nerve communication and even sought second and third opinions of specialists and physical therapists desperately wanting to have a cure equal to the incredible effort put forth by my dedicated client. Though she abundantly made me aware of when she was in discomfort and when something did not feel right, I would refrain from calling her a complainer. She simply stated these systems analysis to keep me aware that we had not yet solved the problem and help me find other ways to confront our challenges. I would never have known, especially if I forgot to ask. It would be considered complaining if she did not overmatch her comments with an incredible work effort and desire to find the answer. Over time, we began to see some improvement, slightly with the affected areas, but far more prominent in her overall health. She was getting stronger. The two of them were able to travel, and the continued fitness regimen allowed them to enjoy their many trips and special time together. It has been my honor to celebrate many a happy anniversary with my clients. 1 year, 5 year, and the like are quite wonderful, but 10 years, especially at that time, I found to be monumental. My second year of 10-year celebrations included Kate and Henry. At such times, when my feeble brain remembers, I usually sit down with a client, even if briefly, at the end of the session, and review the improvements we have made. With Kate, I felt especially compelled due to our particular challenges with her back and nervous system. We were never able to alleviate the Trendelenburg gait, but it succeeded in making all the muscles affected stronger, thereby giving her great support. We also had conquered a 12-inch box squat, which would allow her to get up if she ever did fall down. With her upper body, we'd increased strength in all of the pectoralis group making up the chest, as well as her latissimus dorsi, rhomboids, and trapezius that make up the back. We even were able to increase strength in her deltoid group despite the underlying problems with the rotator cuff. Though surgery slowed us a bit with the rotator cuff, we were still able to improve our prior position. I regaled her with the stories of improvement, though I could not decipher if I was trying to inform her or educate myself, since despite the Trendelenburg gait being a nerve problem, and therefore out of my expertise, I still felt incredibly responsible for improving this condition, and improvement is what I was certain we were after. She is an intelligent lady. I knew this due to the many conversations we had on a myriad of topics, but no conversation left me in awe of her brilliance as what came next. After patiently listening to me, desperately trying to justify our hard work over the past 10 years, Kate uttered the words that I would forever refer to as the greatest compliment any client has ever given me. With almost a dismissal of my litany of improvement examples, she stated simply,
"Garrett, there's nothing I can't do now that I could do 10 years ago."
By this time in my career, I had been a fitness attendant, an intern, a student of fitness, an independent contractor of both gyms and personal training facilities, and a personal training facility owner. I had been in the business of personal training for 17 years and had worked with hundreds of clients. And yet, I had never realized one of the most important goals of every client. The Hippocratic Oath of Physicians states, "First, do no harm." This is simple. You may not improve a situation, but the least you can do is not make it worse. In the world of fitness, there is an equal that I believe everyone overlooks. Humans en masse believe that the only machine predetermined to fail simply due to time is the human body. We ignorantly hold on to this preposterous belief as some sort of ridiculous acceptance for our own failures. Very few, even in the medical field, give this a second thought, and instead dedicate their time fighting this non-existent foe. Anti-aging, preventative medicine, age-defying products, all dedicated to combating this excuse we give for allowing our abilities to decrease due to lack of use. And yet, we wrap it up neatly into a simple misnomer we call age. Kate, unencumbered with such typical ignorance, had attained what many deemed impossible.
Garrett, there's nothing I can't do now that I could do 10 years ago.
Between 10 years and 18, this seems irrelevant. 20 to 30? Okay, but no problem. But from 68 to 78? How about 68 to 86? 67 to 90? At what point do we all realize that not going backwards is actually moving forward? I thought that day on the mat table, following our session, I was going to inform Kate of some life-changing news. I never thought that this was the day my approach to improving every client's health would change forever. From that day forward, every potential client is educated about the truth concerning the human body. I ask each one, if I told you now that in our worst case, if you choose to work with us, I can assure you that 10 years or more from now, you will not have lost any ability. Would you take that deal? I never get a no. Though we rarely, if ever, fail to improve, we never fail to maintain. Thank you, Kate, for my education.